All right. Hello. This is Today in Art. Today is March 26, 2019. My name is Christopher Pack. I'm doing this podcast. It's on YouTube if you're viewing it. And also you can listen to just the audio version through Anchor, and that shoots that out to other various podcasting platforms like I think Pocket Cast and Spotify and Google Podcasts, and there's a couple other as well. So what is this? Well, like I said, my name's Christopher, or you can just call me Chris. I'm an artist, so part of being in your profession is keeping up to date with the current events, if you want to say. So I'm doing this podcast right now kind of like once a week. It's a weekly thing, so I'm just trying to keep myself up to date with current art news that's going on, and well, you can come along for the ride as well. So what I'm doing today is there is another one. I believe it is also from basically there was we'll go through it here. It's anti-CNN billboard appears next to CNN's Hollywood headquarters. And this happened like around the beginning of March, but I'm just now getting to it because I had other stuff I was doing. So it's basically a billboard that says "Keep Korea Divided." Jeff Zucker, CEO, CNN, PC, because Orange Man bad. It has CNN. It says the Communist News Network. The billboard at the corner of Sunset and was it Shahuga, whatever it is, next to CNN's Los Angeles office building. So this is like right across CNN's like headquarters, and it's done by the faction. That's who it was. The faction. They're like kind of they're like a conservative kind of art group, kind of street artist type thing. And I've covered like previous stuff they've done. I think they did like the Trump Stars. They did the Bill Maher NPC billboard, as well as the John Oliver NPC billboard as well. And the other ones are kind of street art graffiti stuff. And what's interesting about this is just a billboard. So the other stuff could be like deemed damaging property and illegal and all that. And this is still art like the other stuff, but this is technically legal. There's like nothing they can do about it if they're wanting to, for some reason, say press charges. So that's kind of funny when you can kind of like still work within the system and still kind of like burn people, I guess you can say. So let's read this. This is like the Hollywood Reporter, which reported on the other ones as well, by Paul Bond. So, a conservative group of street artists has labeled the cable channel run by Jeff Zucker the Communist News Network. A billboard that criticized CNN and its president, Jeff Zucker, over perceived liberal bias sprang up Friday directly across the street from the news network's headquarters in Hollywood. The billboard at the corner of Sunset and Shahuga, I don't know how to pronounce that street, features Zucker's face and Fox faux title CEO CNN PC. Oh, CNN PC, okay. And it refers to CNN as the Communist News Network. The main message reads, "Keep Korea Divided." Before Friday morning, the giant billboard was being used to advertise a marijuana dispensary, but it has been altered by a small band of conservative street artists who go by the name The Faction. And it is the third time in 6 weeks the group has attacked a TV channel owned by AT&T's Warner Media. So I guess this was the third, then John Oliver and Bill Maher. In January, The Faction criticized Bill Maher, and a month after that it was John Oliver, both of whom host shows on HBO. In those attacks, the entertainers were labeled NPC, which In video game parlance means non-playable character, though in conservative circles it refers to a robotic liberalism allegedly displayed by mainstream journals. I mean, not just liberal. I mean, it could be applied to conservative too, but it's mainly when they're calling somebody NPC, it's because the issue with that is like you're trying to have like a conversation. Like a conservative, it's like trying to have a conversation with a liberal instead of them actually thinking about an answer and responding to it. And all they're doing is like spouting off these like 4 to 5 like they're like regurgitating these like talking points, headlines that they've heard from like CNN or MSNBC or somewhere they've heard it from. It's like they're just like they're not thinking for themselves, or kind of it's almost like it's coded into them, like these like kind of certain responses. Oh no. Or they can't, like think for themselves. One of the faction's members told The Hollywood Reporter that the critical CNN Billboard is related to its coverage of President Donald Trump's summit with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. CNN had no comment. When Trump speaks glowingly of Kim Jong-un, it's a tactic, says a member of the faction, which remains anonymous. Zucker and his journo activists know this, but are more than willing to try to torpedo the summit. The future of the long-suffering North and South Korea people be damned. It's kind of a thing, too. They're like saying that it's like we should try to broker peace, maybe with Russia, maybe between North and South Korea. And to do that, you be tactful and you be diplomatic with their leaders as like the president of the United States. But when he does that, he's a Russian covert spy or some like crap like that, or you can't go over there and be like you can't go over there and be like, you can't bully another country's leader into doing it. So you have to be like respectful and tactful, but when you do that, like a lot of the mainstream media is like, they don't understand how things work, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. Trump's summit had been taking place in Vietnam, and the president said his mission was to get North Korea to disarm its nuclear weapons and drop its ambitions for more of them. The talks broke down Thursday without an agreement. The faction first made a name for itself in August when it peppered Hollywood Walk of Fame with dozens of phony Trump stars in an attempt to replace his real one, which activists have destroyed on numerous occasions. I believe through Milo Yiannopoulos, I believe through his website, you were able to purchase some of them for like $25 or something like that, where they're like kind of the roughly 1-to-1 scale. I think they had some smaller. So I don't know if he was like a financial backer of that to get them all, printed out. Update, 2:35 p.m. Pacific. The anti-CNN billboard remained for about 7 hours before it was removed. Why was it removed? If they paid for it, it was legally there. That seems weird. But if you're looking at this photo here, it's like the CNN headquarters and like just right across the street. It looks like it's a billboard that's like set above like a 2-story building. And it has that. Also, I pulled it up on Fox News's website as well. Billboard mocking CNN appears outside a network's Hollywood headquarters. This one's by Joseph A. Wolfson. I don't know. Then here's the headquarters. Probably 15 stories tall. It's probably going to... A group of conservative street artists hijacked a billboard in Hollywood on Friday morning and took aim at CNN, which so happened to be across the street. Okay, so I'm wondering if they actually I don't know if it actually. They're saying they hijacked it on this one, so I don't know if it was they paid for it or they just kind of printed their own and put it over it. So I don't know. Known as the faction, their latest project slammed CNN and its president Jeff Zucker for its coverage of this week's summit in Hanoi, Vietnam, between President Donald Trump and North Korea dictator Kim Jong-un. The Billboard, which referred to CNN as Communist News Network, donned the phrase "Keep Korea Divided" with an asterisk that read, "Because Orange Man Bad." It also featured an image of Jeff Zucker, whose title was CEO CNNPC, a reference to non-playable character. Went over that. This is more of the same thing. The same thing. It lasted roughly 7 hours before it was taken down. An advertisement for a marijuana dispensary was properly restored. Okay, so I'm wondering if they... Didn't really say. So maybe they just did print something and they kind of wrap it on top. I mean, if you look at the actual thing, it looks like a legit... Because a lot of times now, it's just like a huge printout, and they just kind of like wrap the billboard. I mean, even the newer billboards now are digital ones, but I mean, it looks like it's put up there legitimately, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just something they put up there which would be in line with the last 2 billboards that they did. But this one looks like it's a legit... I mean, when you actually read it, it doesn't look like it's a real thing, but it looks like a legit billboard, so I can't say that I legally endorse any illegal activity, but it's still kind of funny because there's like, when you look at it, I think I mentioned it before that like it's over 50% of media is liberal. Then there's like a smaller percentage that's conservative, and there's some that's like independent. So, I mean, in the media and I guess like entertainment and the arts, a lot of it is seen as being like liberal dominated. So I mean, I welcome any kind of conservative, because conservatives are kind of like the underdog in that area, which I wasn't really a fan of conservatives like 10, 15 years ago, because they were the ones that were like going against, you know, like video games, video game ratings and music and all this stuff. But it seems that it's almost flipped now. Like they're the ones that are like for freedom of speech and freedom of expression, all this stuff. And like all the like the so-called like liberals and the lefts and the Democrats are like, they want to silence anybody's opinion that differs from them. And it's like, it did this whole like 180 in the last 10, 15 years. Is weird because it made a little bit longer than that too, because I think in the early 90s too, because I think the whole like video game rating happened with like the Mortal Kombat violence and stuff. Then we had like the rap music stuff having like explicit lyrics and stuff. And there's something I was going to say, I forgot. But yeah, I just wanted to... I thought this was kind of interesting. I'm trying to actually keep up to date, because I probably would have picked something a little bit more topical, but this is something I've kind of covered like previous things I did, so I want to like try to keep up with it. But I'm not trying to do all this like political stuff all the time. But if it does come up, I want to cover it, because I think like street art and graffiti and stuff, kind of like I'm like interested in it too. Because there's one thing that I didn't cover that I may even go back to cover. It's like there's a thing that happened with the Banksy piece. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. I mean, it happened a couple of months ago, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm sure you can leave a comment below. But yeah, this has been Today in Art, March 26, 2019. So, all right. I'll see you later. If you feel like supporting me doing this, you can. I got Patreon, at Teespring. I think actually through Anchor itself they have a direct support feature as well. And if you watch on YouTube, you can just vote it up, or if you didn't like it, you can vote it down and put why. Am I too long-winded? I don't know. I'm still doing this and subscribe and all that stuff. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. All right. Peace.